Welcome back to another episode of Living in Columbus, and today we are going to talk about the reasons why you should move to Columbus, Ohio in 2024. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Brad Winter, and if this is your first time to the channel, welcome. I hope you enjoy this episode. If you've been here before, welcome back. I always appreciate all my subscribers. Regardless, if you could go ahead and tap on that subscribe button, click on the bell, give us a like, drop us a comment. We want to notify everyone when we drop one of these videos about living in the Columbus metro and surrounding areas. I am also a licensed real estate agent here in the state of Ohio. As much as I love doing these videos for you guys, I would love nothing more to help with your real estate needs. So give me a call, shoot me a text, fire off an email, whatever you got to do, make sure you do it because I'm going to have your back with all things real estate related here in the Columbus metro and surrounding areas. Let's jump right into this episode of why you need to move here in 2024. I'm going to start this episode by giving you a little backstory of my experience living here because I actually moved away for a while, and I'm going to tell you why I moved back. So I grew up in a small farm town just about 45 to 50 minutes northwest of Columbus called Bellefontaine, Ohio. Really just known for Mad River Mountain, which is a local ski place. And I believe we have the world's shortest concrete street. I believe that's what it is. And we are the highest point in Ohio above sea level. So, that's what my small little hometown is known for. But I lived in Columbus for a period of time after college. Then I moved away and I spent some time in Pittsburgh. And, I loved Pittsburgh. It was a great experience. I have wonderful friends over there. But my heart was always pulling me back to Columbus. Every time I would come back to visit friends or family, I would see all the things that are going on, the new restaurants, the new developments that were going on. There was cranes everywhere. There's this energy that was going on. And eventually I was able to move back to the Columbus area, and I have loved living here ever since. It's a very affordable city. The people are kind. We have all sorts of things to do. And I just think it's one of kind of the country's hidden gems when it comes to places to live. And we are going to talk about some of those reasons right now. One of the big reasons why people love living here and why you should consider moving here in 2024 is the ease of getting around. I've helped so many clients over the last 3 or 4 years relocate from other parts of the country to Columbus. And one of the biggest things, they talk about how easy it is to just get everywhere. If you were to just put a pin in the middle of downtown Columbus, you are looking at probably a 20 to 25 minute drive to all of the major suburbs in central Ohio. So if you live in Dublin and you work downtown, you're not going to sit in that hour and a half long traffic twice a day that maybe you would in Chicago or LA or, Dallas, Texas, or, any of the major mega cities that you may be moving from. That gridlock traffic really doesn't exist unless we have an accident, unfortunately, or if we have bad weather. If you live in Powell or Galena or New Albany and you want to go on a date night or you want to go see the Columbus Crew play, it's not this big event that you have to prepare for, and getting around is relatively easy. And so when talking to a lot of people that have relocated here, they always talk about how just easier their life is because they don't have to worry about sitting in traffic. They're able to get around other parts of the city and neighboring suburbs with relative ease, I should say. And that is one of the big reasons why people love living here. Now, if you look at where Columbus, Ohio is on the map, you are going to be able to see that you can get to a lot of mega cities within a short period of time. 2 hours to Columbus, 2 hours to Toledo, 2 hours to Cincinnati, just in Ohio. If you want to leave Ohio, 3 hours to Pittsburgh, 3 hours to Detroit, 5 hours to Nashville, 5 hours to Chicago. You can hit a lot of places just by driving. So there's not this feeling that you always have to hop on an airplane if you want to take a weekend trip to Chicago. And a lot of people love the drive there. It's pretty easy. There's things to do along the way. If you're working and maybe you're covering different states for your job, maybe you're in sales, you don't always have to get on an airplane to get a rental car to go do those things. Sometimes you can just get in the car and you can hit 3 or 4 states with relatively ease over, a couple day period while you're visiting customers. So I think Columbus is a very attractive place for not only getting around, but just kind of being able to travel to other parts of the Midwest as well. And if you so choose to leave, we have a great airport that you can just hop on a plane and go really wherever you want with a lot of different flight options. So ease of use is going to be a big reason why people continue to move here in 2024. The second reason why Columbus, Ohio is becoming a destination for people is the growth that is going on not only right now, but what that future growth as far as jobs and opportunities look like. Right now, the big, energy around Columbus is that they're building a massive Intel microchip fabrication factory out in the New Albany area. That is slated to bring 10,000 jobs from start to finish, all the trades, plus the employees that'll be working there. And so that has been the big news, here in Central Ohio over the last 2 years. But we have Amazon and Facebook and Google. You've got Honda doing their big EV plant south of Columbus. We have incredible health systems that continue to just build and build and build. Not to mention, we are kind of being known as this Silicon Valley of the Midwest. We have a ton of tech companies here, VC firms as well. When you wrap all these things together, there's just so many opportunities for people. We have 16 Fortune 1000 companies and 5 Fortune 500 companies here in Columbus, Cardinal Health being the largest of those. So there's just always going to be a lot of opportunity here for people. So if you're somebody who maybe you're early on in your career and you're looking for opportunities right out of school or just recently graduated, then Columbus could be a great place to find those job opportunities. Or maybe you're somebody who wants to start over, or you're looking for a big career change. We have all these sectors that just seem to be booming right now here in our local market. So you're going to have a ton of opportunity. So again, when talking to people relocating here or reading different articles on what's going on, the job outlook for the short term and the long term here in Central Ohio is awesome. So another reason why Columbus is becoming a hotspot for people to live. Next up on our list of reasons why people or you should move here in 2024 is our cost of living compared to the rest of the country. We're actually 14% below the national average. Now, there are going to be some categories that maybe were higher, flat, or obviously lower, but Columbus and the surrounding areas is still a very affordable place for people to live. Now, everybody has their own opinions about this. Actually, I would like for you to drop in the comments if you live here, what do you think about affordability? Is it still pretty good, or do you feel like it's starting to rise because we are having an influx of people move here? Real estate has gone up massively over the last 3 or 4 years and doesn't seem to be stopping. So drop a comment below on what you think. But from a data standpoint, Columbus is still a very affordable place to live. And I think that is another reason why you are seeing an influx of people. In fact, there's an article that came out that we are going to double our population to 3 million people by 2050. Now, personally, I think that's going to happen a lot sooner than later with all of these companies coming here and these ancillary companies that are going to be developed or moved here because of them. I think that growth will actually happen a lot quicker, but we'll see kind of where that affordability goes as the future kind of unfolds here in Columbus. But right now, still very affordable when it comes to cost of living. One of my favorite reasons why I love living here and why people move here is the people are just kind. I mean, I have helped so many people from the West Coast and East Coast of all different age ranges and races and backgrounds move here. And the one thing that is consistent when I call them, I check up like, hey, how are you enjoying living here? Is there anything I can do? Is there anything going wrong? And everybody just talks about how nice people are. They love having neighbors and being able to be involved in their community. And, people will just talk to you when you're at the grocery store or at the coffee shop. And a lot of these other parts of the country that people are relocating from, that really doesn't happen. Things are so fast paced in these larger cities, and people have their own agendas, and they're just going from point A to point B and not taking the time to stop and talk to anybody in the middle. And so you are going to find that Columbus is a super cool place, not only for all the things that we have going on, but the people in general. I mean, I love that about not only the industry that I work in, I get to meet all these types of great people, but just being able to go out and socialize. It's very easy to meet friends and to network, and everybody seems to want to help everybody, in my experience at least. And so I think that's a really cool thing, and another reason why Columbus is such an awesome place to live. Next on our list is the restaurant scene. And yes, if you don't believe me, just Google Columbus, Ohio restaurant scene or top restaurants in Columbus, and you will find all sorts of different, not only local but national articles about the Columbus, Ohio restaurant scene. It's a very diverse culture. We have all sorts of different types of restaurants out there when it comes to different ethnic foods and culturally and all those things that make up a great restaurant scene. We have those things here, not only in the Columbus area, but also it's starting to happen in all the different suburbs, which is really cool as well. So people like to sleep on Columbus for a lot of things. They wouldn't think that the food scene is, very good here, but I think that is one of the biggest misconceptions, and people are very surprised by when they move here. So we might not be a New York, or Chicago, or an LA, or Dallas, Texas, where you have hundreds of different choices and you have these mega famous restaurants. But the one thing we do have is very consistent food, consistent chefs, and the atmosphere is always really good in these places. And so that is, I think, a big surprise for people when they move here. So don't forget the restaurant scene. If you're a foodie, it's going to be really good, and it's just going to keep growing. I want to give a shout out to Chapman's, Chef BJ. They just won, Columbus Underground had like the top restaurants in 2023, and they were the top. That's 3 years in a row for Chapman. So shout out to them. If you don't know anything about Chapman's or their other restaurants that they have, make sure you check them out. It's one of Columbus's most intriguing, amazing places to go eat. The next thing I want to talk about, something that I love, is sports. And I'm very passionate about sports in general. And so when people think about Columbus, Ohio, the first thing they probably think of is The Ohio State University and, our football team, the Buckeyes. And that's pretty much the big, draw to Columbus is that football team, because there's nothing better than a Saturday afternoon in the fall down at the Shoe, watching or tailgating and rooting on the Buckeyes. So if you're into college football, if you're into football in general, you're gonna love that. But we might not have an MLB, NFL, or an NBA team, but we still have NHL, which down in the Arena District is the arena for the Columbus Blue Jackets. The in-game entertainment, the stadium is awesome. We've been down recently, but there has been times in the past where we've been in the playoffs and made deep runs, and the energy and the entertainment is awesome. I've been to a few games there, and I'm not a huge hockey fan, but for somebody that maybe just wants something to do, it's a great place to go watch a hockey game. So don't sleep on the Blue Jackets. And also we have the Columbus Crew, who just got done winning the 2023 MLS Cup. That stadium, Lower.com Stadium, is unbelievable. To me, it looks like a spaceship out of Star Wars. The design features on it are unbelievable. The fans are crazy. There's so much energy in there. They do a great job with in-game production and entertainment. And then all of the amenities inside and outside of the stadium, it's top notch, and they're doing a lot of development down there to make it even more of kind of a community. So that's going to be really cool. We also have the Indians AAA team, the Columbus Clippers. So if you like baseball, minor league baseball is always a good time. And I know that stadium is always one of the top minor league stadiums throughout minor league baseball. So again, we might not have all the major sports leagues and teams, but we really have a lot of great sports teams here on a professional level, college level, and then Ohio is known for sports. We turn out a ton of college and professional athletes. So if you have kids that are in sports or that maybe going to be in sports, we have all sorts of things to offer, youth program all the way up to high school. So don't sleep on the sports scene here. The next thing I want to talk about is education, because this is one of the biggest questions that I get all the time when helping families relocate to the area is, what is the education system like? What are the top schools? It's probably, next to talking about real estate, the number one question that I get on every single call or meeting that I take. What I will say is a great resource for this is niche.com. So get on there. I'm gonna pull up a map right now. You can see a lot of top public school districts and where they're located here in Central Ohio. And we have a lot of good public schools. So I get blown up in the comments a lot when I talk about schools because everybody always wants to talk about Columbus City schools. And while they might not be ranked as high as some of these other schools, if we just look at our region, we have a lot of great private school options as well as public school options. So get on niche.com, check it out. Dublin School District was ranked the #1 school district in the Columbus area in 2023. They have an incredible program up there. There's 3 different high schools, tons of great reviews that you can see on niche.com. I have a lot of friends and clients that live up there. So if you're looking for like the top school, according to niche.com, Dublin School District is that, but I would always, do your own homework on those resources, make the calls, talk to people. But we do have a lot of great education options as well. When you talk about education, you got to talk about colleges. We have the Ohio State University, which is world renowned for our business school, medical. Obviously you have the Buckeyes, and you get a ton of people that come from all over the country and the world, quite frankly, to come to college here. And the cool thing is a lot of them love it so much they end up staying. You also have the Columbus Art and Design School. You've got Otterbein. You have some other private schools around. Capital University is located right here in Columbus. So tons of secondary education opportunities as well. Columbus, great area for education. Get on niche.com, do your homework, and then make the best decision for you. Just a reminder, I am a licensed real estate agent here in the state of Ohio. And as much as I love doing these videos, I want to help you with your real estate needs. So make sure you get a hold of me. And with that being said, we are going to jump into real estate as our last topic of conversation on this episode, because hey, if you're going to be moving here, more than likely you are going to want to buy a place, or if you already live here, you might want to think what kind of real estate moves that you can make to set you up, for the future. One thing that I will say is over the last, 4 years almost now since COVID happened, the rate of appreciation has gone off the charts, not only all over the country, but here locally in Columbus it has, and it's really maintained. So one thing that I want to talk about is when you think about real estate, it is very local, and it's as local as somebody who's living in New Albany. That market in Dublin is going to be different. Even though we're in the same region, things are different. And I think it's becoming even more different as the industry changes, the lack of inventory, where prices are going, what people's needs are. And so it's very important that when you are looking to buy a home or even sell a home, we got to look at your local market to really see what's going on. Now, the median home price in Columbus, now again, this is Columbus proper, is around $270,000 in 2023, which is still relatively affordable than other parts of the country. Now, if you live here, you might not think that, and over the years you've probably seen that number skyrocket, and so maybe you're feeling that you can't afford something anymore, or maybe what you want. And what's interesting, I think, back maybe it's 5 years ago or 10 years ago, a $300,000 house in the suburbs was a really solid house, and that was very desirable for a lot of people. And now I don't even see $300,000 houses really in a lot of the suburbs here in Central Ohio. So that price point has gone up to $450, just to kind of get into a normal size home in these areas. Another thing too is we really need to understand where Columbus is on a national scale, because if you are thinking about moving here, like we are a top 10 market in the country according to realtor.com. We were one of the top 3 hottest real estate cities on and off throughout 2023. And so, we are getting a lot of national recognition, which is great for us because that brings in a lot of opportunities with different companies moving here, but also it brings in a lot of people. And with the lack of housing inventory that we have, that's going to keep prices high. So that's going to, make things possibly more difficult for some people. But if you are moving from other parts of the country, you might not think the real estate prices are that high compared to where you're coming from. And so that's something that you need to consider. But overall, real estate in the Columbus metro and the surrounding areas is very stable. It's very strong. We're getting great appreciation. Even throughout the last year when, the market was changing with rates, we're still getting really good appreciation. So Like I said before, if you're thinking about making a move here, if you're already in the process of relocating, or if you live here, give me a call. Would love nothing more to help you out. Again, I want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of Living in Columbus. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.